How many people here know what Pinterest is?
Heard of it.
Just a couple, not too many. Basically what Pinterest is a website, obviously. Imagine that, I'm talking about websites. And it's a place where you can go and do what they call pin images or videos. Kind of the goal of Pinterest is to share everything on the web visually. You can think of it as one of these old-fashioned bulletin boards, if you will, where people would go out there and they would pin a bunch of notices, images, whatever. Kind of have this hodgepodge of stuff. But one of the things that's different about Pinterest is it's more like one of these bulletin boards where you can actually go in and put things into different boards, if you will. And you'll also notice that on this particular graphic here that it's locked, meaning I could go in there and I could pin something on this because I've got the key to that thing and people can see it, but no one else can go in there and pin things on my board. Now, one of the things that happened when Pinterest first came out is that they had all types of issues with copyrights. If I'm going to go out there and I'm going to pin something out on the internet and I'm taking this from somebody else's site and putting it on a Pinterest site, who owns that copyright? Pinterest at one point in time actually claimed that if you pinned something on Pinterest, that they now had ownership of that image and they could turn around and sell it to somebody else. Now, if I'm pinning something off of somebody's website, that's probably not a real good thing. And as a result of that, people were like, I'm not going to use this site. Too much liability. Well, they kind of changed their mind a little bit and they eased up on that, no longer claiming the right to be able to sell it. But they do claim the right that you put it on our board and we can now share it with whoever we want to. There is still issues out there as to whether or not this is going to be something that comes down on the courts. And if it does, that's probably 4 to 5 years out. So people have to ask themselves, is it worth the risk for me to go out there and put images, to pin images out there? Well, if you're pinning your own images and you want to spread the word, then it's probably a good thing to do that. But then the question becomes, you know, I've got all these other social media sites out there already. I'm already doing Facebook, I'm already doing LinkedIn, I'm already doing Google+, I'm already doing Twitter, whatever. Is it really worth my time and effort to get involved with yet another website? Now, one of the things that you have to consider when you're looking at this is that the goal of doing any type of internet marketing is to get found. You can see what some of the stats up here on the screen are. 84,000 hours of video put up on YouTube, 2 million blog posts, 35 million apps downloaded, and 5 billion minutes on Facebook. That's in one day. You have to, as an internet marketer, kind of be found in all this massive activity that's going on the internet. And one of the things about Pinterest is that it helps you do that. Another stat here, you can see that nearly 5 million users with 1.5 million unique visitors every day. That's not bad for a website. In fact, if you look at this stat down here, the average minutes per visitor, Pinterest is second only to Facebook. The other thing is that as of January of this year, Pinterest was actually driving more traffic to other websites than LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube combined. So it's definitely something, if you're doing internet marketing, to be aware of and to utilize. It also is driving more sales than Facebook is. So not just driving more traffic than these other websites, but people that are actually buying something as a result of having seen a pin on Pinterest. Is it worth it to be involved in yet another website? Well, one of the things that I look at when I'm talking about internet marketing is that everything is just one more piece in the marketing puzzle. And so you can see on this thing up here, well, they haven't liked us or friended us or plussed us or any of that stuff, but maybe they'll pin us. maybe they will, maybe they won't. It's just another piece of the marketing puzzle. If you look up here at other popular social media platforms, Facebook is clearly number one, and you have to come clear down here, a little under 21% of people using Pinterest compared to 88% on Facebook. You know, that's not a real positive stat saying, yeah, I really ought to use Pinterest, but it is another piece of the marketing puzzle. Now, one of the goals when you're using Pinterest is to get people to repin things. So I actually went out there and I created a pin, and you can see that Adam here repinned a pin that I did about an iPhone projector. That's actually something that you want to have happen, because the more people that are repinning things, then the more followers that you will find, because you're getting more traction out there. So one of the goals is to get repinned. About 80% of the things that happen on Pinterest are in fact repins. Now the other thing that you want to have happen is to get followers. I have actually met Ed McCaffrey, but I was surprised when I got this notice that said, Ed starts following you on all of your Pinterest pins. I'm asking myself, why would Ed do this? I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. I haven't had a chance to ask him. But just because somebody does follow you on Pinterest doesn't mean that you have to follow them back. It might be a good idea to do that, and in fact you want to try to start following other people, because if you follow them, then they may follow you. So two things that you're really looking for are getting people to repin you and getting people to follow you. Now, how do you go about doing Pinterest? Well, there's two things that you want to do. You want to use keywords in your descriptions, and you want to write your own summary. You don't want to just go out there and take the information that was on the original post. What kind of things should you pin? One of the things that's really good to pin is tutorial types of things. So even if you have a service type of industry, you can go out there and you create graphics to tell people how to do certain things. As you can see here, 12 ways to repurpose your toys. The other thing that you're going to want to do, and you can see some of the pins that I made up here, is create these nice long graphics with a background color, because that really stands out when you are doing pins versus kind of some of the smaller types of pins that you normally see. You can find out if your website has been pinned, and basically you can go to pinalerts.com and get an email, but the other thing that you can do is you can actually go to pinterest.com/source and add your own URL. I did this for a website that I had created, Cyber-Based Trading Post, and I could come out here and see that a bunch of people have been pinning this same graphic over and over again. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to try this ourselves. So just go in here and go to pinterest.com/source and add your own URL there. Okay, so here we are live on Pinterest. And we'll just copy this in here. Oops. And where it says add your own URL here, you can put in anything you want to. See, Janet's in the room, your website is KW, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just kw.com.
Move off to the side a little bit.
Okay. These are people that have actually pinned things about Keller Williams. Not things that Janet has necessarily pinned. She probably hasn't. She's just said she barely heard about Pinterest. But other people have pinned things about properties out there. You can go out there and do this for your own website. If you sell services instead of products, one of the things that you can do is you can actually go out there and create infographics. You don't have to have just images. You can actually put text on your images and make it be whatever you want to. One of the things that you want to do is include a call to action. So this is actually a pin that I did about my thing, and you can see here at the bottom that I said, go ahead and contact webstorslimited.com or call this toll-free number. So in your descriptions, you can put that type of information, as well as, search engine optimization is obviously something that doesn't lend itself necessarily to being a picture, but you can create a graphic for it. You can sell houses and so forth. If you sell financial advice, go out there, create infographics about different types of financial things. So a quick recap, you need to think visually about your business, create these tall images with lots of information on it by using text and so forth, and encourage others to do it. Add descriptions, include your domain name and a call to action, and remember to engage with your audience. It's another social media site that's going to give you a piece of the marketing puzzle.